like organism rather. So when it is a unicellular organism, so it has a cell. Like that only our body, it has got trillions of cells, they are present, and all of them are in working condition. So this amoeba, it cannot survive without the seawater. If you put it in the pure water, it will just die, right? So this is something very important to understand the homeostasis. Now, what is homeostasis? Before I go ahead, let's see like how the body is made up of. If you see body, like the earth has 70% water, it has got 30% land. Similarly, the body has got 60% fluid. It has got 60% fluid, okay, and it has got 40% soluble elements. That is the solid thing. So now if we see the 60%, here it means it will be something 42 liters of water will be there approximately. Okay. So this is approximately. If you see here, again, it is divided. There is 20% external fluid. That is external fluid only, I'll call it. External fluid, and out of 60%, 40% will be internal fluid, right? And if you see this 40%, now this will be something 28 liters. Okay, this is 28 liters of internal fluid, and this is 14 liters of the external fluid. And this internal fluid, it is present in the cells of your body. Okay, and 20%, this external fluid, now if you see, it comprises of your blood, of your lymph, okay, then your cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, seminal fluid, then endocrine gland secretions, then urine, synovial fluid, nasal liquid, lacrimal gland secretions. All this is coming in the external fluid category. Okay, and 40%, whatever is within the cell, that is the internal fluid. So it is ECF and ICF, what we call it, ECF and ICF, right? And if you see now this 40%, which is the solid substances here, out of this 33%, it is the organic substance. Now, organic means what? It is containing the carbon, and rest 7%, it is inorganic. So that is all the minerals and salts, whatever are there. So they are there. So in organic, if you see, it is carbohydrate, your proteins, your fats, all those, they are coming in the organic category. And inorganic elements, all your salts, your potassium sulfate, your calcium phosphate, iron bicarbonate, magnesium, manganese, everything, all the elements are coming here. Now, why they are important? Because these inorganic elements, they are working like a catalyst, they are working like coatings, where they are working like, enhancing the reactions in your body. So they are something really very, very important, this inorganic ones. And what are the organic ones doing? They are giving you the energy. So whatever the energy is needed for the body, we derive it from this organic. So this division, it will come again and again for you in each and every chapter, whether it is blood, whether it is plasma, whether it is urine, wherever. So if you remember this basic division, you will not forget how it is working then, right? So now if we see what is homeostasis, if we see the word homeo means what? You all know? What is homeo and what is stasis? What is homeo and what is stasis? Are you all on mute? No. Homeo is something similar or stable. Okay. So if we take that word, homeo is similar or stable, and stasis, what is stasis? You must have by now learned, sorry, this is not similar or stable. Stasis, what is stasis? What is stasis? Is it blockage? Is it stopping anything? No? What is that? What is stasis? It is balance. Yes, actually, Preeti ji, stasis is stoppage or rukavat. But now see, it is coming later. This is not a prefix. Okay, so when it comes later, it is saying balance. So when there is a balance maintained in the body, a similar balance throughout, that is homeostasis. So your body, what it is doing, it is maintaining its balance. Each and every moment it is doing the maintenance. The body is maintaining what it is maintaining. Now if we see what it is maintaining, if you see, it is maintaining your heartbeat, right? Then what else it is maintaining? It is maintaining your rate of respiration. Then what else it is maintaining? It is maintaining your temperature, body temperature. How much is your body temperature? How much is the body temperature? Anybody? Your blood pressure. This is all being maintained. Your appetite, right? Your pH balance. You all know what is pH balance? The acidity, the alkalinity. pH balance, I'll write here. Then your gastrointestinal motility, GIT motility. See, so many things they need to be maintained in your body. Then your secretions of your hormones. How much has to be done? Who will decide? Your muscle tone. See, so many of them are there. So all these factors, they are being, one moment. So all this, it is being uh, this heartbeat, your rate of respiration, your temperature, blood pressure, appetite, they have to be maintained on something a same level. So if this level is not maintained, if your blood pressure goes high or if your blood pressure goes low, you get the symptoms, right? If your body temperature increases, what is happening? When your body temperature is increasing, you are getting infection, right? You get fever, body temperature is increasing. So these are all the symptoms that yes, my body is not working properly. There is some problem with my body. So daily, each moment's maintenance of this homeostasis is something very, very important. And who helps us to maintain this? It is your lifestyle, your diet, your stress levels, your sleep. Everything is helping it to maintain. So this homeostasis, it is something very, very important. Now I come back to the earlier one. Now why this water is something very, very important? This water is so very important because all this organic and inorganic, it is, everything is soluble in this water. So your cell, now if we see how the cell is, we'll go to the next chapter. If you see your cell, how is your cell? Like this is your cell. It has got lots of water, right? It has got, what it has got, your cell? You all have learned the cell properly now. There is nucleus, which is the very, very important part of your cell. That is the brain, or you can call it the heart, whatever you want to call it. It is something very, very important, the nucleus. Yeah, actually, like, you all have messaged me, but I couldn't read the messages. There is a nucleus. Okay, then there is some mitochondria here. We all know there are 4-5 mitochondria in a cell. And what does this mitochondria do? Now, these mitochondria, they are the powerhouse of the cell, right? They are the powerhouse. So what are they doing? They are generating the energy for your body. So this mitochondria, what happens? If you see this mitochondria, when you give the cell water, sorry, not water, you're giving the cell carbohydrates, that is the glucose. 1 minute. You're giving glucose. Plus, what else you need? You need oxygen. Now, when you give a cell this glucose and oxygen, this mitochondria, which it is present here, what it will do? It will generate energy in the form of ATP, right? This will continue in each and every cell. Energy plus what it will do? It will generate carbon dioxide, and plus it will generate H2O in the form of vapor. So this cell, it is something really very, very important. And here when we have seen this nucleus. Now what does this nucleus have? This nucleus has a nucleolus, and here there is all your chromosomes, they are there. This gives the this thing command to divide and redivide the cell. And then there are other this thing, if you see, there is endoplasmic reticulum. I'll show you this picture if you can see it here. See here. So many things are there. See, this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. There is endoplasmic reticulum. So this rough endoplasmic reticulum, it has got some proteins on it, right? Here there are so many mitochondria. Then there is the Golgi bodies, which packs all the proteins and it sends it wherever needed. So wherever the proteins are needed, it will send there. There are the lysosomes. Lysosomes will, what they do? They will clear all the infection, whatever the bacteria, the germs have come inside, they will all clear it. So this cell, it is something very, very important. And now here, if you see this cell, it has got its cytoplasm, and all these organelles, they are floating in that cytoplasm. So if we go to this part again now, what we had seen in the first part, your this 20% external fluid and 40% internal one. This 40% internal cellular fluid, it is where all the organelles are floating, right? And this ECF, as we saw, the blood CSF, it is in between the cells. Now if we see the types of cells, there are various type of cells. How many types of cells are there? If you see here, there are secretory cells, there are fat cells, there are muscle cells, there are nerve cells. All these different type of cells are there, and all these cells, they do different kinds of work. And all the cells, they have all this. They have the nucleus, the mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi apparatus, everything, it is working. And the cell membrane, this, it is something very, very important, because it is, first of all, it is made up of protein, and secondly, it is allowing all the minerals and food to go inside and come out, whatever the waste is there which is going out. So this is where the exchange of the all the minerals and salts takes place in the fluids. So these fluids are something very, very important. And when these cells, they join together, they form a tissue. Now this tissue, it is the epithelial tissue that is forming the lining of the organs. So wherever there is, even the skin, it is an epithelial tissue. If you see the your stomach, it has got a lining. That is the various kind of the tissues are there. Then if you see the connective tissue, it is doing the work of connecting. So when it is bridging two cells, it is called as the connective tissue. If you see the areolar connective tissue, it is working like a packing material. It has got the air pockets, and it is doing the it is making the organ strong. So it is working for the muscles, nerves, ligament, valves. Then elastic ones are your arteries. which have to go long way from the head to the toe, from toe to up again. So they have to have some flexibility, some elasticity. Then there are some fatty connective tissue. Now this fatty connective tissue, they are also something very, very important, because this fat is the reserve for your energy. If the carbohydrates and proteins are not available, then this reserve store has to come into action. Then coming to the next one, it is your lymphoid connective tissue. Now this lymphoid connective tissue, this is something very, very important. Can you tell me what is a lymphoid connective tissue, what you have understood of? Can you tell me what is this lymphoid connective tissue? It is protecting. Yes, it is doing the work of protection. It is present in the lymph. Actually, if we see there is lymphoid tissue, you must have learned about the T and B cells, right? So what they are doing, they are fighting for your body. Now this lymphoid tissue, it has got lymphocytes. Okay, what they will do, whatever the infection is coming inside, it will just catch hold of that, and it will make antibodies against them, and it will try to just shoo away them. It will just try to kill them. It will try to hold them or make antibodies, and keep your body very, very healthy. So if we see this lymphoid connective tissue, that these tissues are present in the organs where attack of germs is common and frequent. So where it is, first of all, if you see in the kids, it is in the tonsils. You all see that tonsils, they are the lymphoid tissues. So whenever the kid has got any infection, they will always swell up, and he will have throat irritation or problem. And where else they are? They are in the respiratory system. So if something goes inside your body, in your trachea, you try to cough, right? You want to take it out. So that also has got the lymphoid connective tissue. Then again, something very important one is your appendix. It will prevent the whatever infection going from down from your urinary tract or anal tract, whatever the infection is going inside, it will try to again kill those bacteria and germs. So these two are something very, very important, the appendix and the tonsils. They will just catch hold of all the germs and bacteria, and they will kill. So these lymphoids, they are something very, very important. So always you should remember this tonsils and appendix, they should not be anytime removed from the body. The next one is your cartilage and the bone connective tissue. They are again giving something good tensile strength power to your bones and your cartilage, so that you can move, you can jump, you can run around. Then there are the muscular tissues. If you see muscular tissues, there are three kind of the muscular tissue. The first one is the skeletal one. Skeletal one, it is something what your muscles need to exercise. These are your skeletal muscles. They look something similar like this. They are striated ones also. They are also called as the striated ones. Then your cardiac muscle, your heart, they have some special muscles. So they look like this. They are again involuntary, and these are the smooth muscles. They are also involuntary. So these smooth muscles, they are working where all the internal organs in your excretory system, in your reproductive system, in your GIT, everywhere these smooth muscles are working. And then comes the nervous tissue. Now this nervous tissue, they are made up of phospholipid. See, now if you see this word phospho and lipid, now what is lipid? Lipid is the fats, and phospho is phosphorus. Wherever the word lipid comes, it is your fats. So this now phospholipid, and their food is only glucose. So you have to remember, whenever you are having this fat, you're nourishing your brain, because the nervous tissue, it is present in lots of amount in your brain. And what are they capable of? They are capable of conducting the impulse. So this impulse, something whatever the instructions you get, whatever the sensations you get, and after that whatever the responses you get, this your brain is giving all those, and for that it needs all this nervous tissue. right? And then the fluid tissue is there, your blood and the cerebrospinal fluid. And let's come to the last part of this chapter. It is the transportation of the material. Now, as we saw in the first one, that in the liquid, the ICF and the ECF, there has to be some connection. So how it will do? First, it will do the connection through the active transport. Means what? It will need some pump. It will need some energy to go up and down, to come inside the cell and to go outside the cell. So there is a sodium potassium pump or something similar. So that is the active transport where the energy is being used. And what is the passive transport? Passive transport is where there is no consumption of the energy. So here I'll like to tell you the example. So if you see this, if you spray a perfume in a room, so if you see, it will be always from the higher concentration to the lower concentration it will go. So what will happen? The smell will go in all of the room, right? So that is your diffusion method. Then second one will be, if you see osmosis process, what is happening? There is some liquid and there is a membrane. And on this side, if you keep a raisin, what will happen? The water will come here, because here the pressure is the water content is less. So again, it is going from the higher content to the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So this was, first one was the diffusion, second one was the osmosis, right? This was osmosis, this was diffusion. Then third one is the filtration one. Now, what is happening in the filtration? So now if you see there in the filtration process, if you see again, here there is more pressure and here there is less pressure. So what is happening? Everything is getting filtered out here. So for what is the example of this filtration? Your kidneys. They are filtering the urine, right? So like how you strain your tea, something similar is this process. This is taking place in the cell chapter, right? You have any questions on this? You can ask. Now we come to the third chapter, then blood. Now what do you all understand by blood? Before I go ahead to the blood, I would just like to make one this thing only. I'll just show you a slide. This is your nerve. Just now when we talked about the nervous tissue, this is your nerve. It has got the cell body, right? It has got an axon, and these are the terminal axons. And again, now if you see here again, it will make another nerve will be there, and it will have an axon. Again, it will have axon terminals. Again, there is a cell body, axon terminal. So the unit of this nerve is neuron. Okay, so this is how your nerve is made. Just this picture came in, so I showed you that. They look like this in the body. So lots of the nerves are there present in the body. Now, if you see the components of the blood, if you take blood in the test tube, what you will see, if you keep it in the centrifugal machine, 44% are your red blood cells, 1% are your platelets and white blood cells, and the rest, it is again, see, 55% plasma. Plasma is what? It is fluid, it is liquid. What it contains? It contains water, ions, proteins, waste, and gases. So you have to remember this chart always. If you see this red blood cells, now here it is erythrocytes. What is erythro? Erythro means red. Erythro is red, and site is cell. Okay, so that is your red blood cells. Then your white blood cells, they are also known as the leukocytes. So leuko is white. So anywhere this leuko word comes, it will be always white, and site is your cell again. Okay, and platelets. So they are thrombocytes. Thrombo means what? To coagulate. Thrombo will always form a coagulation. All the cells will come together, and they will clot. They will coagulate. So the property of these platelets is to coagulate. So they are the coagulating cells. So if you see here, this leukocyte, they are of 5 types. Here you can see, some granules in it. They are the with grains, so they are known as the granular cells. And here you can see this lymphocyte and monocyte, they are agranular, means they don't have the grain. What this grain do, whatever the infection is coming in the blood, they will try to kill that infection. So this is neutrophil. Now this neutrophil, whatever it is associated with, neutrophil, if any bacterial infection is there, it will, the neutrophils will increase. So if you see a blood report, you will see that, whenever there is an acute infection, the neutrophils will increase. Now what is their percentage? If you see neutrophils, they are 50 to 70%. 70% of whom? They have 70% of that 1% we saw just now. See, I'll just like to tell you this. This platelets and white blood cells, they are only 1%. In this 1%, the neutrophils, they are 50 to 70%. Okay, so they will increase, and that is showing that it is a acute infection. And if this neutrophil, they are less than 50% or they are 30%, it is showing that it is a chronic infection. So this neutrophil, it helps with the bacterial infection. Eosinophils, they help with the allergy. If any allergy is there, if you see pollens in this pollen seasons, when they trouble people. So this eosinophils, they will increase. Or if somebody is getting their house painted, because of that also, if someone is having sneezing and any problem, the eosinophils will increase, because it is some outside reaction is taking place. And then here is the basophil. If one gets any injury or something, then these basophils will increase. And why they will increase? They will do the healing of the structures, whatever the inside. And then these lymphocytes, again, they are the, we spoke about these lymphocytes. They are helping us to fight against any infection coming inside the body. And last one is the monocytes. Monocytes are the sweeper cells. And these lymphocytes, they are the B and the T cells. So B cells, they are they are imparting the humoral immunity to you. And T cells, they are helping you with the humoral and cellular. So cellular one, they are fighting with the enemies, whatever they are present in the inside the cell. And the B cells, they will fight the enemies which are present in the fluids in the body. So T cells and B cells. So if you see the thymus, thymus is again also lymphoid tissue. So actually, if you see the thymus, it is active in children till the age of 14 years. So they don't get any infection as such, severe infection. Okay, so this is something very important. And next we come to the, yes, and these are generated, all these bones, blood cells, they are generated in the red bone marrow at the end of the long bones. Okay, here in between there is the yellow bone marrow. They are not generated here. They are all generated in the red bone marrow. Now the blood types, when we come to the blood types, now here you are supposed to know two things. One is agglutinogen and agglutinogen. Here you can see them, and agglutinin. Now, what are these two? They are some peculiar kind of proteins. Okay, so not exactly proteins, but they are known as the uh, glucose phingolipid. Okay, now this agglutinogen, this one, this is a lipid, glycosphingolipid it is, and it is present on RBC. Okay, and where is this agglutinin present? This is present in the serum liquid. I think I'll just write on this thing. Agglutinogen. It is present on RBC. And if you see this agglutinin, it is present in the serum. Okay. So now if you see here, Who are the agglutinogens? They are your A, B, and O. Sorry, there is no O, only it is AB. You can cut this O, it is AB. And who are your agglutinins? They are alpha, they are your beta. And now what happens if someone has like this, if we draw this here, if he has A agglutinogen, then if he has this alpha agglutinin here, what will happen? They will come together and they will coagulate. So we cannot have this alpha here. We need to have beta. And if it is A agglutinogen and beta agglutinin, then this will be your A blood group. And if you see the next one, if you see here, if there is B agglutinogen, plus now if we keep here beta agglutinin, it will not survive. It will coagulate and the person will not, the blood will not flow properly. So here we need to have alpha agglutinin. So this will be B blood group. And if we see here, if there is both the agglutinogens A and B, now here there can be no alpha, no beta. They cannot stay. Alpha or beta, they cannot stay here. So this will be A and B, AB blood group. And the last one, there is no agglutinogen here. And there are both of these, alpha and beta agglutinins. So this will be your O blood group. So this is how generally the blood groups have been given. So there are many number of types of blood grouping system, but generally we follow this ABO system. So it is according to the agglutinogens and the agglutinins in the body. And again, there is something called as the RH factor. Now this RH factor, it is also something protein similar to this agglutinogen and agglutinin, but it was found in the rhesus monkey. So it is present mostly in the 85% of the population. So they are known as the RH positive, right? When it is present, this RH factor. And when it is not present, it is the RH negative. The blood group is RH negative. So negative is something really very less, but we can find there are only 15% of them. So they are 85%. Now coming to the, if a father is O positive, if he's RH positive, okay, if the father is positive and if the mother is negative. So generally I'm saying there can be exceptions. If we see there that the baby, when it is conceived, the baby will have father's RH factor. So what will be the baby? It will be a RH positive baby, right? Now this baby is RH positive because it has taken father's RH factor. Now what happens when the child is developing and he has got this RH factor and the mother has got RH negative factor? What will happen? It communicates to the mother via placenta. And what can happen that the placenta, when this RH factor, if it goes to mother, what will the mother do? The mother's body will think that this is something foreign body and it will start making antibodies against this RH positive factor, and the baby can die because of that. So generally if you see there, the doctors, they give two injections. They give the injection of the RH immunoglobulin in the I think 28th week they give, and after the birth of the baby they give immediately, within 72 hours they give that, and the baby survives. So generally it is for the first baby they do that. Okay, so that is about the blood. Now with that we come to the we have time, right? So I'll just tell you how the you want me to take anything particular topic, you all tell me, otherwise I'll go what I feel is important. You all need anything important?
Ma'am, can you explain the blood group again?
Yeah.
Glutinogen and I can't understand this.
Yeah, I'll tell you. See, this is agglutinogen. Agglutinogens are agglutinogen. They are A and B. Okay, agglutinogen. And who are the agglutinins? They are alpha and beta. Okay, agglutinin. Now this, sorry, agglutinin, agglutinin. This agglutinin, it is present in the serum. Agglutinogen, it is present on the RBC. Okay, and this alpha, this A agglutinogen, it cannot stay with alpha agglutinin, alpha agglutinin. It has to have beta agglutinin, then only it can flow in the blood properly. Otherwise, what will happen? They will come together and they will coagulate, and your blood will not be anymore fluid. Okay, so this is A blood group. And your B agglutinogen, it will not survive with the beta. It will need to have alpha agglutinin, then it will make B blood group. And when the A and B, when they are together, both the agglutinogen, then both alpha and beta agglutinin cannot stay with it, then it forms the AB blood group. And when there are none of the agglutinogens, A and B, then there are alpha and beta agglutinin, then it forms O blood group. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, but if the person is the A blood group
Hmm.
and the agglutinin is the B in the his syrup, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, but he can't take the blood from the B blood group. Why?
Because B will have a reaction with this thing, no? And beta agglutinin, and the blood will coagulate. That's why.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Because they are similar, no? B and beta, they are corresponding to each other. Okay. So we now come to the RBCs. Like what happens after, what is the lifespan of RBCs? It is 120 days, right? RBCs, they have only 120 days of lifespan. So what happens after 120 days? They swell and then they go to the spleen. Spleen catches them, and then what does it do? It will break it down. Now it will break it down to what? It will break it down to heme and globin. RBCs has hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin. We all know that. RBCs have hemoglobin. That is what heme is giving its red color. And what is the globin? Globin is the protein. So now this heme and globin. Now this globin, what will happen? Sorry. Globin, it is the protein. It will go to the store of the protein. So it will be reused. It will go back to the store, this globin. And this heme, heme has, if you have seen in the book, there is a pyridol ring attached to it, to the iron, to the ferrous. So it has Fe, that is iron, and it has got pyridol, pyrrole ring, pyrrole ring. Okay, so now again this iron also, it will go to the store. Okay, it will be reused. Now what will happen? This pyrrole, if when it is there, what it will do? It will form biliverdin. Now this biliverdin, it is a green pigment and it is something really very, very harmful. Okay, so what will the body do? Body will convert it into bilirubin. Now this is a green color pigment. This biliverdin is green colored pigment. It will convert it into bilirubin. It has to throw out now this bilirubin. But again, if you see this here, this is something orangish red color, and it is still poisonous. It cannot be thrown out of the body. So what it will do, this bilirubin, along with albumin plus albumin, they will stick together and it will take it to the liver. And in liver, what will happen? This albumin, it will get separated out, and then this liver will now make this bilirubin water soluble. Okay, it will make it water soluble. What is that water soluble bilirubin? It has been converted now. It is known as the bile. Okay, it is converted it into bile. Now it can be thrown out of the body. Now it is water soluble. And what it is doing, this bile, it is now being sent to gallbladder, right? And what the gallbladder does it, gallbladder will, if the liver is sending 500 ml of bile, it will make it concentrated and make it 50 ml. This gallbladder, it will make it 50 ml and it will store it in its pouch. And then what will happen when this gallbladder, when the fat comes in the gallbladder, in the duodenum, this gallbladder will pour this bile into the duodenum. Okay, it will pour it into the duodenum. And after that, where it will go? After the duodenum, it will go through this intestine, and in the intestines, what will happen? In the intestine, it will be absorbed by the blood and it will go to the kidney. And where kidney will later, when it forms the urine, through urine, it will, in the form of, in the kidney, it will, in the urine, it will be in form of urobilinogen, which will impart yellowish color to the urine, the straw colored urine, which comes because of this urinobilinogen, right? And then it will come out through the urine. So one part from the intestine goes to the kidney, and from another part, it will go to the large intestine. And what it will do in the large intestine? Again, here with the bacteria in the large intestine, there are the bacteria. Along with the bacteria, it will form stercobilirubin. And here it will impart the yellow color to the stools. So that is why the stools and the urine, they have the yellow color. So this is the bile what is being thrown out of the body. If you have seen any time anyone having gallbladder stone or the CBD is completely blocked, you will see that the stools are clay colored. They don't have any color. Have you seen any time that? The stools and the urine, they have the yellow color because of this bile. Okay, so if we take a condition, this RBCs are breaking down, right? We have seen because of the breakdown of the RBC, all this procedure is taking place. So now if you see here, this is the liver here, okay? And here the RBCs are breaking down and liver is processing it, and here is the gallbladder. Through the gallbladder, where it is going to the duodenum, right? So now if you see here, there can be various type of jaundice because of this. If RBCs are breaking in lots of numbers, so if RBC breakdown has increased, what will happen? The liver, it is working fine, right? The RBCs are breakdown has increased more. It may be any condition. It may be malaria or maybe a snake bite or any other condition. So what is happening? All the how much liver can work, it is doing to break down the RBCs and making the bile. But still there will be lots of bilirubin flowing in the blood. So because of that, what will happen? It will impart all the yellow color to the skin, to the eyes, to the urine, to the stools. That will be known as the prehepatic jaundice. Okay, liver is normal. but the RBCs are breaking down more. Okay, that will be known as the prehepatic jaundice. But suppose this RBCs are breaking down normally, whatever they were breaking down, they are normal, right? Breakdown is normal. But now here liver is sick. If the liver is sick, now what? Liver is not able to work properly, right? So now what will happen when the liver is not able to make the bile? Again, there will be lots of RBCs will be present in the blood. Again, here what will happen? There will be the urine will be yellow because that bilirubin is not being transformed into the bile, whatever the earlier one we saw that. And because of that, again, the urine color will be yellow, and the stools, they will be little less yellow. In first case, in this prehepatic jaundice, the stool color will be dark yellow. But in hepatic jaundice, where the liver is not working properly, they will be again yellowish, yellow color will be there to the stools. But of course, the urine will be yellow. That will be the hepatic jaundice. And the third one is the post-hepatic jaundice. Means what? The RBCs are breaking down normally, the liver is working normally, but now here there is some problem with the gallbladder. Maybe the gallbladder, the CBD duct has, the common bile duct has been blocked, or the gallbladder has got stones, because of which the gallbladder is not able to send the bile to the duodenum. Because of that, what will happen? Now there can be yellow colored urine, but the stools, they will be clay colored stools. They will be clay colored. So definitely this is something very, very important for us to know, that where we are supposed to work, whether it is on the RBCs we are supposed to work on the liver, or we are supposed to work on the gallbladder. So when you ask the patient history about your the stools and the urine, you come to know. And something very simple I would like to tell you all, that whenever we take the history, always you should ask the patient the color of the urine. So now if somebody is saying the color of the urine is yellow, so ask the patient to drink 2 glasses of water and then ask him to pass the urine. And again, if he says, okay, now it is normal, but if it is yellow, then it is showing that this is the first sign of jaundice. So it will not come in any of the tests. It may not come like, but this is a sign that yes, there can be some type of jaundice. So this is something very, very important part of the history taking. Okay. So this is about the RBC breakdown. Now with that, we come to something very, very important chapter, that is your GIT. How does your GIT look? I hope you all know. See, this is the blood report. Here, can you see this neutrophils? They have been raised here. They are increased 80.9. So this is an acute infection it is showing. Here it is showing hemoglobin of 11.8. Though the biological reference range is 11.5 to 16. But no, these are not the correct ranges. In your Manav Sharir Vigyan book, at the end, the last chapter, the normal ranges are being given. So you all should definitely always refer to these ranges. Always. So they are the correct ranges. So now all the labs, they have increased the biological reference range. See here, now you can see the total WBC count has decreased. This is 2,300. So it is showing a chronic infection, and the platelet count has decreased. So what does platelet count decrease? What disease it shows? If the platelets have decreased, generally in which disease decreases?
Dengue, ma'am.
Yes,
Dengue
dengue.
fever.
Yes, in dengue. So if you see this in platelets, now this your thrombocytes, they work a lot, right? So now they have decreased here. So what here they are 169, but earlier how much it was? Sorry. Here they were 149. They were decreased. They were decreased means what? Now these platelets, what they do? They keep the blood flowing in nature. I mean, whenever there is some bruise, what happens? When the bruise is there, the platelets will come and they will form a mesh so that none of the blood cells go out. They leave from the injury site. So these platelets will come and they will coagulate. And in dengue, what is happening? Since they have the count has been decreased, so what will happen? There will be no coagulation now. So if somebody gets hit here, so what can happen? The blood will not be able to coagulate and it will just spread under the skin. And because of that, in dengue, if you see on the abdomen, firstly, you can see all the this thing, purpura, small red spots you can see on the skin. So that is like, the doctor's checks, like whether the platelets are normal or not, whether the abdomen has got some purpura or some red spots. And if it is there, then the platelets are checked and then dengue test is done. Dengue test is not done on second or third day. It is generally done after 5 days. So, or even the Vidal test, like Vidal test is also done after 5 days. So the platelets, they need to be found how much they are. So if they are decreasing, you have to increase them. And we have got a very good protocol on both ring finger, 0 and 9 spiral meridian. Very nice protocol is there in Ayurvedic acupressure, which can be used very successfully. Sorry, it is not there. One moment, I'll just get the PPT. We come to the digestive system. Now, where does your digestion first start?
From mouth.
From mouth. From where in the mouth?
Chewing the food with the saliva, it mixes.
With saliva, yes. With saliva. It starts from the saliva. This is your digestive system. Yes. From where?
Yes, by saliva and the glucose digestion by amylase enzyme.
So the lips don't play any role in it?
Yeah, it's take a role. Without
What
lip,
role is there of the lips? What is the role of the lips?
Food enters through lips.
Yes, one part we can understand that. Any other function? See, these are your lips. The skin out there, it is very, very thin. So if you have seen, if somebody is fasting, so they are always given juice to drink first, and then immediately he feels very fresh. So what is happening? Like all the nutrition, it is being absorbed from there. There are some homeopathic medicines also. They are kept on your tongue, and the absorption starts from the oral cavity, from the oral cavity itself. So the lips, wherever the skin is thin, it is helping in absorbing whatever the nutrients they are coming through the liquid part. So even if you hold water, if somebody is not feeling like drinking water, just ask that person to just hold a little water in the mouth, and the water, it will be absorbed from the body and the patient will start feeling good. Okay, so your digestive system, it starts from your lips itself. So actually this is from mouth to anus. This is your digestive system, and Professor Park Jebu has called it Manus meridian. Manus. So mouth to anus. Okay, so this is something very, very important meridian, because all the disease starts from here itself. Smita Gupta ji, purpura generally second, third day it starts being seen. So it is not that like later it is seen. It is seen on second, third day also. So this it starts from your mouth, and then definitely the first part here, it is your teeth, because whenever we put food inside the mouth, your teeth plays very, very important role of chewing. Now, why chewing is something very, very important?
Because when chewing.
While chewing, it will be mixed with the saliva.
Yes.
Okay. it will be mixed with the saliva. What else?
Making the food soft.
Making the food soft. What else?
And big particle to the small particle.
Why small particles are needed?
Because when your enzymes they ma'am very easily digest only enzymes.
Yes, actually the
Vegetable.
area for the absorption will be increased. See, now if you have this much big food particle and if you have small food particles, your enzymes will have lots of area to work upon and the food will be digested very easily. Right? So that is why it is for the absorption purpose, the food has to be chewed very nicely. Then what does your tongue do? What is the role of the tongue?
बोलस को अंदर डालने में हेल्प करता है.
Yes, it helps in moving. It is helping it to swallow. So the tongue is also playing a big role, right? And if you see this tongue, it is always wet. It is never dry. So it will help to make the bolus very nice into the. It will help in secreting even the saliva. Now this saliva, if you see here, it is being secreted. How many salivary glands are there? How many are there?
Three,
Three
pairs.
parotid, sublingual gland, and the submandibular gland. So if you see if somebody is having bitter taste, what it is showing, bitter taste, what it is showing, especially when the fever is there. Why the bitter taste has to be there? No idea?
ma'am, there are taste buds on the saliva.
No, they are not on the salivary gland. The taste buds are on the tongue.
Tongue, I think.
Yes, they are on the tongue. So if you see the tongue, on the front part, you can see there is sweet taste buds are here on the tongue. On the side, there are sour here. And at the back side, they are bitter. And like the whole thing, the lining, the front lining, it is with the salty ones. Okay. So these are the taste buds on the tongue. But the salivary glands, when they become very dry, when there is dehydration, when the salivary glands are not producing any saliva, that time you will get bitter taste in the mouth.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so this is something very important. Yes, you will see it. Even the bitter taste will be seen if there is heart fire blazing or even if there is a liver heat is raised. But if the fever and all is there, because of the diarrhea, because of the dehydration, you will see that there is bitter taste. Okay, now what digestion is taking place in the mouth? Any digestion taking place in the mouth?
Yes, ma'am. Glucose digestion.
Yes,
ma'am.
Glucose digestion, starch digestion.
Starch.
Yes, carbohydrates are getting digested here. Who is helping them digest?
Pepsin, I think.
Who?
maltase,
Saliva.
Pepsin,
Saliva.
ma'am.
Salivary
Am I
gland,
like
ma'am.
Salivary
gland.
Saliva. Enzymes in the saliva.
Enzymes and the saliva. Yes, actually, if you see there are enzymes in your saliva. So your saliva is helping to digest the carbohydrates, and there is ptyalin. Okay, ptyalin that is helping the carbohydrate, the starch. It is converting it into maltose. Okay, ptyalin is also known as amylase. So this is converting into maltose. So that is a type of carbohydrate only. So your digestion is starting itself from your mouth. Okay, so if you don't chew, if you see the history of diabetic patients, you will always see that they don't chew the food and they just gulp down with water. So the saliva is not generated. So this ptyalin is not generated, and because of that, the digestion is not proper. Okay, So, and then later on, the rest of the digestion, now here only the starch is being digestion is taking place. The later carbohydrate, they are being digested in the intestine. Okay, so then we have to go to the intestine. So now from here, the food now is going to the stomach, through which it is going esophagus. Yes, through esophagus it is going. Now, what does esophagus contain? What it has?
Peristaltic movement.
Yes, it has got peristaltic movement. It has got the mucus linings. So it does contraction and relaxation. Contraction and relaxation takes place here in the esophagus, because of which the food doesn't stay here. When you just put the food inside, it directly goes, and where it comes to the first part of the stomach. Right now, here on the first part, there is a sphincter that is known as the cardiac sphincter. Now it is known as the cardiac sphincter because, see, you can see here, because it is near the heart. So that is why it is known as the cardiac sphincter. And when this cardiac sphincter open, it comes into the stomach. Now, what is this stomach? This is a J-shaped structure, right? Now, this J-shaped structure, who's here to cook the food? When the food has come here, who's cooking it here?
HCl.
HCl.
HCl. Yes, hydrochloric acid. What is the pH of this hydrochloric acid?
1.8, ma'am.
1.5 to 2. Right? So see, now you all know the scale of this pH. This is 1, this is 14. If you see, this is acidic. Right? This is acidic, this is alkaline. And the 7, this is normal. Who is normal? Then the pH, whose pH is normal?
Water.
Water. Right? And what is the pH of your blood?
7.4.
Yes, 7.4.
7.4.
So your blood is standing here, right? So now if you see here, where is this HCl? HCl is standing here somewhere, right? This is HCl. So highly acidic it is. So if it is highly acidic, what it will do? It will cook your food very nicely and it will digest it properly. Okay, who's releasing this HCl? Which cells are releasing it?
Kinetic cell.
Oxyntic cells, right? There are mucus cells also, which is generating the mucus. There is gastric cells also, which is secreting the gastrin. Okay, so all this, what they are doing, they are working with the food, whatever it is coming. Okay, so if this pH, if it becomes 3 or 4, can the food be digested? Can the food be digested if the pH is 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of this HCl? My question is very simple.
No.
Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
So what will happen?
Gastric problem.
Like? What will be the problems?
वो वॉल्स को डाइजेस्ट करने लगेगा.
Indigestion.
Indigestion. Walls को नहीं digest करने लगेगा. Somebody of you, ये walls को कब digest करेगा? जब आप time पे उसको खाना नहीं दोगे, तभी वो walls को खाना शुरू करेगा. Okay, because the HCl is secreted, the time of your food has time of the food is there, and now like you have not given it anything, then what it will do? It will get the mucus lining. It will eat it up. Okay, but now here what is happening? Your HCl, it is 4, 5. I showed you the pH scale. Now it has become a little alkaline, though it is still acidic, but what it was supposed to be, it is not there. Then what will happen? Just think,
Indigestion.
indigestion means what will happen? What will happen means indigestion.
It will lead to constipation.
Yes, it
Constipation.
it may lead to constipation, but before that, see, now here this is what your hypoacidity and hyperacidity is coming into picture. Hyperacidity means what? It is more acidic. Okay, and here what is happening? Hypoacidity. So what you said, indigestion means what? Now here the food will not be able to get cooked. Okay, and because of that, what will happen? The food will remain there, or and then what it will do happen? Putrefaction may take place. Sudden हो जाएगा उसमें. Ferment नहीं होगा, sudden ही हो जाएगा, because the food is lying there, it is not being able to digest. It is something like, like you are making a big pot of khichdi. You are kept on the gas, and you have kept the gas very low. The flame of the gas is very low. Will the khichdi cook? Because the patila is very big, in a big quantity you have taken the khichdi, it will not cook. But if you keep the high flame, it will get cooked very easily. And if you keep it on sim, it will take lots of time, and then everybody will be hungry and it will not cook properly. Okay, so something similar thing will happen here. So this is the stomach part, and from stomach, now this we saw here, this is the gastric sphincter. Here it is the pyloric sphincter, and from here now with all the things, like this is 1.5 to 2 pH. This is highly acidic. From here, after 3 to 4 hours, it has stayed in the stomach for 3 to 4 hours. Now it has come to the duodenum part. Right now, this duodenum, what is happening? If you see, this is something very, very thick part. See, can you see here duodenum? It is a very thick one. Now this duodenum is the first part of the intestine, small intestine, duodenum. Second part, who it is? It is jejunum, second one. This is the first one, and the ileum, it is the third part. So this small intestine has 3 parts. Now here in the duodenum, what is happening? Everybody is coming and putting all their secretions into it. So you can see here, see the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, everybody is coming and putting their secretions. So that whatever the highly acidic material is coming, now here it will get digested. So all these are alkaline now. This gallbladder, it is pouring in the bile. When the fat is there, it will pour the bile. Then this liver from the hepatic duct, it will pour its bile juice, whatever the dilute one, into the duodenum. The pancreas will pour its pancreatic juice into the duodenum, so that, like now the highly acidic bolus, now it will be digested properly, because now when it enters the small intestine, it will be absorbed into the body. Right, in the intestines, now if you see, and before I go ahead, this pancreas, it has got 2 functions, exocrine and endocrine. So exocrine function is producing the pancreatic juice. Again, it is producing some form of amylase also, which is going to digest your carbohydrate, and it is also producing the insulin. Right, for the blood sugar, we all know that for entering the blood sugar into the cell, this insulin is required. In the small intestine, there are so many like this lacteals. The villus, many are villi, and singular is villus. So it has got, if you see, it has got arteries, it has got veins, it has got the lymph vessel, and whatever now the food, whichever has been digested, it will be absorbed like this. And there are n number of them in the small intestine. See again here, so that the absorption is done very well. For the absorption to be done very well, these kind of the borders are done, and they are known as the brush borders. Okay, they are the brush borders. So now from here, when it is being absorbed, now from here they will directly enter into the blood and go to the kidney. Blood will go to the kidney, and all these intestines, they are kept in place by this omentum in front, and mesentery in the back. So that, like whenever we laugh or whenever we jump, the intestines, they are not just protruding out. So they have a covering. In front, there is, of course, peritoneum is also there in front of this. So this is the omentum. It has got lots of fat on it. See here, you can see the omentum. It is holding it. And then the peritoneum is there outside. And after that, then where it comes? Sorry. After the small intestine, now it is coming from the small intestine. See here, you can see there is ileocecal junction. Now many times this ileocecal junction, this is also closed. Because of that, many of the patients, they get constipation. Okay, so something simple, if you just move hand from up below to up, it just opens. So if you see here, the food, all whatever the digested food, it is moving like this here. And now see, it is going up. This is the ascending colon of the large intestine, right? And at the entrance, there is this appendix. Okay, this is the lymphoid tissue. So if any infection is coming inside, it will take care of that infection. And here, if you see, again, there is some nerve impulse there, which is helping all this waste material to go against the gravity. It is going up. And again, now this is the hepatic flexure. Here will be the liver. So this is the hepatic flexure. Then it will go this way in the transverse colon. Then it will come down to the descending colon. And this is the sigmoid colon. And from here again, see, this is S shape. Though it is shown here C shape, it is S shape. From here, it will again travel like this, and then it will come into the rectum, and then the anal canal. And here, then again, there are the sphincters here. And the sphincters are there. So there is one internal sphincter, which is controlled. The control is the brain, and the external control, it is the control is in the with the humans. So when both of them open, then one can pass the waste material. Now, what is the job of this large intestine? In the small intestine, we saw that it absorbed all the nutrition, whatever the carbohydrate, fats, everything was absorbed there. What is the role of the large intestine?
Reabsorption.
Absorbs water.
Only water?
Complete
Water and vitamin K
Yes, vitamin K.
K.
Only vitamin
and
K?
B.
B
And
complex.
B12.
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 Yes. So something very, very important. So when you get the urge to defecate, one should not stop from defecating. Why? Because what will happen if the stools are there? What will happen? They will start absorbing the water, because the function of the large intestine is that it will start absorbing the water. And after that, what can happen? The stools can become very dry, and then it will be difficult to pass out. And because of that, many times we've seen that the patient gets piles and fissure. That one of the reasons, not that is the only reason, one of the reason. Okay, so this is something very important. Now, why is this B12 is something very important? Vitamin B12, we all have less vitamin B12. We all are facing problems with that, no?
memory.
Only memory?
Nervous
Memory is
problem.
what's sir?
Nervous issue.
Nervous issue. There can be. But
Ma'am,
what is
it is the healthy for
For
our
bones
bone
as
and
well.
all.
healthy for our bones? Of course, it is something very important. That's why the body is producing it. But what is the major role of vitamin B12?
Blood से related कुछ.
हाँ, blood से related कुछ है. It is helping to make the blood. Okay, it is helping to make the blood. So actually, if you see the stomach part, आप जब बहुत टेंशन में खाना खाते हो, तो यहाँ पे गैस्ट्रिक फैक्टर्स कुछ रिलीज होते हैं, वो रिलीज नहीं हो पाते हैं. उसके साथ में अगर विटामिन B12 का भी डेफिशिएंसी है. Why the B12 deficiency can be there? Because you have constipation, you have heat in the large intestine. Because of that also, the B12 will not be secreted, nor the gastric factors will be secreted. And then what will happen? Your blood will not be able to form properly. Right? So definitely one should not eat when in stress, or you should not, mix your work with your eating time. So you should eat very relaxed manner, so that this gastric factor is also released, and then later your small intestine, large intestine are able to work properly. Now coming to the last part, that is our nutrients chapter, food and nutrients. So what are the food and nutrients? Are they very important part or not?
Important.
Why important?
Because of the food we give, we get energy.
Yes, we are
Body में
getting
अलग-अलग function
why
के लिए
why it is important?
बॉडी के अलग-अलग फंक्शन के लिए अलग-अलग न्यूट्रिएंट की जरूरत होती है।
तो क्यों उसके लिए खाना क्यों जरूरी है?
क्योंकि प्रोड्यूस एनर्जी एंड और आप पूरे काम जो भी शरीर से काम करते हो उसके लिए एनर्जी की जरूरत है आपको, जो कि हमें फूड से मिलती है।
फूड से मिलती है। तो इसका मतलब है हम लोग नहीं बनाते हैं फूड, राइट? Like plants make their own food, है ना, with the help of sun. So we are
Yes,
not
yes.
making the food. That is something very, very important. So when we take in the food, what is being done? जब हम food अंदर ले रहे, what is happening? We are doing oxidation is taking place, right? ऐसे ही हो रहा है ना, ऑक्सीडेशन हो रहा है ना, हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है?
Yes,
The
burning.
food is being oxidized or not?
Yes, yes, glucose to glucose, yes, it converted.
How it is happening?
When we breathe and take the oxygen and we take the nutrition, both, then make the energy.
Yes, as I explained you, see what is happening. You are taking in glucose.
Yeah, glucose plus
You
oxygen.
are taking oxygen. Then only the oxidation will take place. अब जब
Yes.
आग जलाते हो, you need oxygen, right? You for fire, you need oxygen. Can you have fire in vacuum?
No.
You cannot. So this is something very important. So your pranayam is important, your food is important, because we cannot make our own food. So we are taking in from the outside material, right? So we are taking two types of food. One is the proximate. What is proximate principle?
Proximate principle. Glucose, protein, and
Protein, fat, carbohydrate,
glucose
ma'am.
and fat.
Yes, yes.
Carbohydrate, protein, or fat.
And another one is the protective principle. So if we see the glucose, the carbohydrate, fats, and protein, we need in big amount, right? So that is being provided by the this proximate principle, and they are giving us the energy. Whereas this protective principle ones, which are your water, your minerals, your vitamins, they are not giving us the energy. Okay, they are needed in small quantity only, but they are these proximate ones, they are needed in large quantity, and they are giving us the energy. So we are supposed to remember that this proximate ones, the carbohydrate, proteins, and fat, they all are very, very important for us, right? So if we see the protein first part, what are proteins now? What are proteins?
It's made of amino acid, ma'am.
They are made up of
Amino acid.
amino acids. Actually,
Yeah.
they are made up of peptides. So amino acid, it is basic unit.
Yes, yes. And it's
Okay.
useful for our growth and all these things.
Yes, if you see this, it is needed for your growth. It is needed for your muscles. It is needed for making some enzymes. It is needed. So now, what is the yeah?
Building up cells.
Building of cells for wear and tear. So it is not that only the little child needs it. We all adults also need it, because for the wear and tear, the proteins are helping. The membrane of the cell, it is made up from the proteins, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is something very important. Now, which enzyme is helping to digest this protein?
Peptidase, ma'am.
Bile.
Peptidase.
Peptidase. Yes, peptidase is the last form. That is the pepsin. Where is this pepsin generated?
pepsin
It
generated
is
from
liver.
small intestine.
Time में.
Small
No,
intestine, ma'am.
no.
No,
Stomach.
Liver.
pancreas, ma'am. Pancreas, ma'am.
Stomach. Yes,
Yeah.
pancreas also in some form it is making, but major it is the gastric one. Okay, so if we see the little kids need it more, the pregnant ladies they need more, or if someone is sick, they need it more, right? So this, if you take in more proteins, what will happen?
Maybe
Uric acid will increase.
Uric acid will increase.
Why uric acid should increase?
Um,
Because
Body cannot store.
yes, no, because it is producing nitrogenous waste in the form of urea, uric acid. Okay, creatinine, all these are the waste. So actually, if you take in more proteins, because of that also, it can be hazardous to the, not hazardous, I mean, it can be troublesome to the body. So I remember now one of the patients, the doctor told her that you are lacking in protein. So what she did, she got lots of protein ka khakra, dal ka khakra. And then she started having daily 3-4 khakras for the breakfast. And then after 15-20 days, she started having joint pains. And then when she went to the doctor, she checked her blood levels, uric acid had increased. So how much you need? You don't need much. How much you need proteins?
1 gram per body per kg of body weight.
Yes. And of your total food, how much it is needed?
23%.
15%.
15%. You need only 15%, 1 gram per body kg. So if you are 50 kgs, you need only 50 grams of proteins. And where do you find these proteins?
Lentils.
Legumes.
Yes.
Pulses.
Yes. Pulses. Yes. Do you
Dairy,
find them
ma'am.
in dairy products? Yes, actually you're supposed to have dairy products also, because few of the amino acids, not the amino acids, yeah, few of the amino acids, they are not present in the plant proteins. So you need to take some dairy products also. Okay, now coming to the carbohydrates. How much carbohydrate you need? Here we needed 15% of the proteins. How much carbohydrates you need?
50%.
Yes, carbohydrates we need 50% carbohydrates. And from where do you get the carbohydrates?
all the सारे अनाज और
Anaj.
Cereals.
Cereals.
Then all your bread, rice,
और मीठी
wheat.
चीजें जो भी
Yes,
शक्कर
Chapati. Whatever.
yes, everything it will need. Do they give you instant energy?
yes because the carbohydrate digests in our mouth.
Yes, they start digesting in your mouth. And if you see, are they stored in your body?
Yes, in liver,
In liver? What is the
adipose
form?
tissue, glycogen.
Glycogen.
In form of glycogen, right?
Yes.
So now my question is that if you all take more carbohydrates, more glucose is formed, right? So more glycogen, now your liver, the glycogen is full. It cannot take more glycogen. Will you get diabetes if you are taking in more carbohydrates?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, maybe.
Yes, everybody is agreeing to that. Okay. So today, the rice was too good, so I had it more. So tomorrow I'll get diabetes. Is it that?
होम्योस्टेसिस के कारण
No.
कंट्रोल हो
नहीं
जाएगा.
नहीं
It's depend upon insulin level
Yes,
and your
maybe Sejal is.
your workout also.
बॉडी ज्यादा इंसुलिन सिक्रीट कर देगी उसके अकॉर्डिंगली.
बॉडी ज्यादा इंसुलिन सिक्रेट कर देगी.
और
Yes,
आपका
that-
वर्कआउट कितना है, उस हिसाब से आपको कार्बोहाइड्रेट खाना चाहिए.
तो डायबिटीज होगा या नहीं होगा?
एक दिन के खाने में नहीं होगा.
रोज के खाने में हो जाएगा.
अगर आप
अगर-
कंटिन्यू ऐसी लाइफस्टाइल जी रहे हो तो हो जाए.
ऐसी ही लाइफस्टाइल मतलब कौन सी?
मतलब आप डेली ग्लूकोज ज्यादा खा रहे हो तो बहुत ज्यादा फैट एडिपोज टिश्यू में जमा होते रहेंगे तो आपको
नहीं
मे बी.
नहीं, ऐसे नहीं होगा. डायबिटीज नहीं होगा प्लीज. एक्चुअली इफ यू सी, yes, this liver, it will go to liver for glycogen. It will, if your pancreas will produce more insulin, and your cells will utilize more glucose. ज्यादा एनर्जी भी बनाएगा, उसको ज्यादा बनाने का कोशिश करेगा. आप एक्सरसाइज करोगे तो यूज अप हो जाएगा सब. एंड लाइक बॉडी विल ट्राई टू टेक इट आउट इन द यूरिन में से, वो ग्लूकोज को बाहर निकालने का कोशिश करेगा. So it is not that like you will get this diabetes very easily. As we spoke earlier, कि if you are not chewing properly, अगर आपका digestion ठीक से नहीं हो रहा है, you are not exercising, you are living a very very sedentary life, आप पानी पीने तक के लिए नहीं उठ रहे हो, आपका movement कुछ नहीं है, तो yes, in that case it can take place, but not otherwise. Okay, and then we come to the last part, that is your fats. Now, how much fats are needed by your body?
35%.
35%. What is the use of this fat?
Because it is very important for our brain, ma'am.
For our brain. Okay, what else?
Cells, building cells.
Cells building. Which
और
kind of cells?
आपके बोन में स्मूथनेस देने के लिए भी, आपके बोन जॉइंट में.
एनर्जी कैलोरीज उससे मिलती हैं ज्यादा.
Energies मिलती है. It's storing energies. What else?
Absorption of vitamins.
फैट सॉल्युबल विटामिन्स को
Yes,
absorb करने में.
soluble vitamins. Which are those?
ADEK.
Yes, ADEK. Where are they stored?
लिवर.
Yes, liver. Right? Then if you see this fat, it is giving palatability to your food. मतलब क्या? टेस्ट दे रहा है. आपको टेस्ट नहीं आएगा कुछ इसमें. उसके बाद में और कि ये क्या कर रहा है? What else it is doing? Something very very important.
Absorption of vitamins.
Absorption of
yeah.
vitamins, वो तो हो गया, लिखा यहाँ पे.
जॉइंट्स को
Lubrication.
lubrication. Yes.
Lubrication. Does the fat lubricate your joint, or it is the synovial fluid which is lubricating your joints?
Synovial fluid.
Synovial
शरीर
fluids.
के ग्रोथ के लिए भी चाहिए.
ग्रोथ के लिए क्यों चाहिए?
And for emergencies, madam.
Yes,
Emergencies.
emergencies. I wrote here, stores energy. Insulator, it will work as an insulator. It will balance your body temperature. If you see, generally little children, they will run in cold season also without any sweater, without wearing any socks or anything. They'll just move around. But whereas the old people, they will always feel very cold, right? It is always the case. Is it not the case?
Yes, it is.
It is because they have very less this fat.
Fat.
So this is allowing, this is fat is working, insulating. It is making a barrier so that it doesn't allow the body heat to go away. So this is something very, very important. And last but not the least, it is gastric emptying time. It is reducing it. अगर आप देखो, आप रात को सोते समय, if you are having constipation, you take with little warm water, if you take ghee and little pink salt, next day morning you run to the toilet immediately. What is happening? This fat, it is making a lining to your intestine and it is reducing the gastric emptying time. Sorry, I wrote tissue. Okay, so reducing the gastric emptying time, this is also something very, very important function. So that is why, otherwise, अगर आप देखोगे कि कहीं पे चिकनाहट है, तो वहां पे कुछ भी नहीं रहेगा. It will just slip down very smoothly. But if it is very dry or rough surface, nothing can pass through properly. So it is helping in gastric emptying time.
Why did you add the pink salt, ma'am? Why did you ask to add it?
Actually, in Ayurveda, it is written that way. I don't know really how it helps, but in Ayurveda textbooks, it is written that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
It does help.
मैम घी को हीट करके लेना है.
Yes, in warm water, warm water.
Okay.
What are the type of fats you all know?
Saturated and unsaturated.
Okay, saturated and unsaturated. If you see fats, fat is coming under the category of lipids. कहीं पे भी अगर आप देखोगे, आप जब कोलेस्ट्रॉल का टेस्ट करते हो, you do a lipid profile, right? So this is coming under the lipid. So now lipid is a complex substance. It is not soluble in water, and under it there are various lipids. So first one is fat and oils. Okay, this is the first one. Second one is your wax. Third one is your phospholipid. ये कहाँ आया था अभी हमको phospholipid?
Cell में मैम.
Where?
Cell chapter.
Cell chapter, yes. So if you see, there is some structural fat. And another one is the natural fat. So now if you see the structural fat, the structures are being made of this structural fat. Okay, so if you see cell membrane or some of the tissues, they are made of the structural fat. And this natural fat is the one, this can be used in emergency. This cannot be used in emergency. ये emergency में ये नहीं use कर सकेंगे. Okay, and this can be used in emergency. So this is a structural and natural fat. But again, if you see another type, that is
Unsaturated.
first we'll see visible fat, which you can see, and invisible fat. Okay, visible मतलब क्या दिखता है आपको? You can see oil, butter, that is visible fat, but you cannot see the invisible one. It is found in the milk, it is found in the nuts, that is the invisible fat, right? And actually, if you see this natural fat, which is used in emergency, it is found in your omentum also. And in your text also, they have given many types of things. Now, if you see another ones, these are the type of fats. Okay. Now, if you see oils. Now, these oils, they are of various types. One is palmitic acid. I told you earlier that oils and fats, no? So this is oil and fats. So oils are palmitic, stearic acid, palmitic acid, stearic acid, and the third one is oleic acid. Now here this palmitic and stearic one, they are the saturated fatty acids. Matlab kya? Saturated fatty acid, what are they?
मौसम के अनुसार जम जाते वही मैम.
Yes, मौसम के अनुसार भी नहीं, otherwise also. And this oleic acid is unsaturated. So at normal
temperature wise.
Yes, on normal temperature, they will be liquid in nature. And here in palmitic and stearic, you cannot the molecules cannot be added there. Okay, so they are the saturated and unsaturated. So saturated ones, they are very much, I mean, thick in nature. So like they are something similar to your cholesterol. Like, so if you see your LDL cholesterol, that is low density cholesterol, कहीं पे भी उसका जम जाने का quality होता है. You know, it will go and clog up in your blood vessels. So it is not good. So that is your LDL. But if you see your HDL, high density lipoprotein, it is moving around. It will never coagulate anywhere. It will not stop anywhere. So if this saturated fatty acid, if it coagulates in your blood vessel, what can happen? It can create thrombus somewhere, and it will stop the blood supply to that area. And because of that, that tissue, if it is not receiving blood supply for more than 3 minutes, it can die. Right? So this is how the thrombosis takes place. So actually, if we see this cholesterol, this is also something very, very important for your body. So there is HDL and LDL. So HDL is the good one. So high density lipoprotein. So generally this HDL is the one which is taking all the LDL to remove to the liver to remove it out from the body. So that's why you should always try to see that your HDL, it is increased. Okay, so this is about your 5th chapter, that is food and nutrients. You have any questions? You can ask. I have very quickly revised. I think I have overshot 10 minutes time.
Ma'am, ileocecal, sorry, what is that called as?
Yeah,
You said there's a
ileocecal
blockage.
valve. Yeah,
Yeah,
valve.
there's a blockage. So
Hmm.
I just missed out on that point. If you can explain it to me. Thanks.
Yeah, actually, you know, many times if the waste, if it is very dry or something, or if the nerve impulse is not working properly, so it can get blocked because things are not moving out from there. But physically also, like, you know, if you just move it, but we have a point for it in Dr. Wolf's. When we'll come to the further classes, no, when you'll learn Dr. Wolf's, you will definitely come across that point also. So actually, that is the joint between the small intestine and the large intestine.
मैम कौन सा फैट अच्छा होता है खाने के लिए, अनसैचुरेटेड और saturated?
आपका घी कैसे फैट है? सैचुरेटेड, अनसैचुरेटेड?
Saturated.
सैचुरेटेड है, पर वो तो बहुत अच्छा है.
So I'm confused, so I asked.
Yeah, actually, like, you know, there is a ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids. So actually, when they are in right proportion, the omega-3 to omega-6, so that time, that one is the good one. So I think that is 1:6 ratio, I think, omega-3 to omega-6. But actually, like if you say the oil parts, no, what I have come across in my research is that whatever, like, you know, the area you are staying and what oils are being used in that area, you should eat because they are right for that type of the environment, the weather temperature. So like if you see in the south side, they eat lots more of the coconut oil. But if you go north side, they eat lots of mustard seed oil. And like in the central India or the western India, generally they take peanut oil. So actually, in the I think east also they take lots of mustard seed oil only, Calcutta and all, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, according to the area, like, yes.
Region wise.
Yes, region wise, you should have the oil. And the ghee, of course, it is something very nice because now when you will learn your Ayurveda, like tissues, you will come to know that all the sanskaras are being done on that. So from Ras, Rakta, Mas, Med, how it is going, something similar, we do it for the ghee also. What we make it at home. I'm not talking about the clarified butter or the ghee what is being sold outside. पर घर में आप कैसे दूध गरम करते हो, फिर उसका मलाई निकलते हो, उसका मक्खन बनाते हो, एंड देन उसको हीट करके जो घी मिलता है, दैट इज समथिंग रियली वेरी नाइस. सो यू कैन हैव दैट.
मैम कोलेस्ट्रॉल एनिमल प्रोडक्ट में ही होता है ना?
No, your liver generates 70% of the cholesterol because it is needed for the body.
ओके बट अगर हम बाहर से कोलेस्ट्रॉल ज्यादा खा रहे हैं
Hmm.
इट इज हार्मफुल ना फॉर द बॉडी.
Yes, of course. Actually, you should see for those hydrogenated fats. जो trans fat करके मिलता है बाहर में, you should not have those. Packaged food generally has them, so you should not have those. Preeti ji is asking the difference between blood serum and plasma. Can anybody tell that difference? Blood serum and plasma. What is the difference?
Blood without RBC.
Blood without RBC is what?
Plasma.
Is it plasma? Blood without RBC? Actually, like you have said, you have answered another question. Blood without RBC, what is that? Blood without RBCs is?
Without fibrinogen, I think serum is.
Yes, Sangeeta ji is right. Without fibrinogen is what? Plasma or serum?
Serum, I think. Serum is without fibrinogen.
Yes, serum is without fibrinogen. See, if you see, when you get hurt, क्या होता है आपको जख्म हुआ उसके ऊपर में there is some hard layer comes, right? Okay, the clotting has been done, hard layer is there. Now, from there is no fibrinogen, some serum is being leaking. That is the serum. And the plasma, it is inside your body. So it has got this fibrinogen. And the blood without the RBCs is lymph.
Lymph, without the RBC.
Okay. Got that, Preeti ji? Okay, so do we stop here and we meet tomorrow again? So tomorrow
Yes.
we'll do few question papers. Thank you so much, Amita ji.
Thank you, ma'am.
Really wonderful class, as usual, with so much of clarity. And
Thank
you
you,
know,
sir.
even I enjoyed the class. Everybody really would have enjoyed. Thanks. I don't know how to say it. I mean, thanks is not the proper word. We are highly obliged to you. Be blessed by the event. Tomorrow we'll catch up, madam.
Yes,
8
sir.
o'clock.
Thank you so
Friends, please assemble tomorrow around 7:55, 8 o'clock class start. On behalf of every one of you, once again, thanks and gratitude to our beloved faculty, Dr. Nilima Patil ji. Namaste, madam. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you
We'll
so
catch
much,
up
sir.
tomorrow.
Thank you, students.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, thank you so much.
We'll catch up tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Have any questions? Keep ready.
Thank you, Nilima.